Hi there, I'm Construction Gamer, and this is the Midlands to London on Transport Fever 2. This is the first episode of a brand new UK series in which I'm hoping to create mostly the West Coast Main Line from London to Birmingham, but it will include also the Midland Main Line, East Coast Main Line, and a bit of the Great Western Main Line as well as Crossrail and a few other railways in between. And the Chiltern line as well, we can't forget about that one. It's going to be a sandbox playthrough, so I already had 100 billion in the bank to get me started. I haven't put no cost on because I think it's just interesting to see how much things cost and how much profit or loss we do actually make from these services. So this is London right here. The map is, I think, a 1x3 if I can remember, and it will be available as this episode goes out on the Steam Workshop for you to try. It is another Megalomaniac sized map, so it is using experimental map sizes, and hopefully, unlike the UK Northern Powerhouse series, which was my last UK playthrough, the distances should be a bit better. Obviously it's not to scale, I don't know how much it's out, but it's because it's quite long and thin, some of the distances are really quite long. So I think if we start down here in the south in London and then work our way up, it's a basic map, it's not particularly well detailed or anything because I'm hoping to add that later on, but you can just see how long the map is. So some of the rail distances, some of the journeys are going to be quite far on this. It is a really big map and it's got plenty of towns. Let's just bring up the list. Where are you? That one? No, towns. How many have we got here? I'm not quite sure how many I added. I didn't think I added as many as the Northern Powerhouse series, but I think I have added plenty, and I can always add a few more possibly if I need to in the future. We are in 1995 at the minute. I didn't really want to go through all the eras, I just wanted to go straight in. I think with like the Virgin West Coast era, I think that's kind of my favourite. I'm probably going to need a little bit of help on which services actually operated in 1996, but obviously we know about Virgin and things like that, but I'm not 100% on the other service. I still need to do a little bit of research. As for the services, I'm just going to flash up a map real quick just of what I'm proposing to, some of the services that I'm proposing to put in place, and obviously I can grow this map. You can't probably make it out particularly well, so I'll share that in my community tab and on Twitter as well, so you can get a better view of that. So I've tried to kind of replicate, well, I've replicated obviously today's service stopping pattern of Avanti West Coast and London North Western Railway, and you can see there a bit of the East Coast Main Line up to Stevenage. Just because of the way the map is orientated, this map was designed primarily to get from London to Birmingham, so it is kind of on a sort of bit of an angle. So if you're looking at places and you think that doesn't look like it's in the right place, it's because the map isn't a true north-south map, it's more like on an angle, like northeast, southwest. So no, yeah, you get what I mean. So yeah, I just got Shrewsbury up there. It's just out of, it should be over here somewhere, but I thought I wanted to include that. What else have we got? We've got Rugeley up here, Derby, Burton-upon-Trent, and Lichfield, Walsall, Birmingham, Tamworth. Coming down, we've got Stratford-upon-Avon, Leamington Spa, and Banbury. Got Oxford as well somewhere, and Bicester, and down towards Reading, which is the extent of the Great Western Main Line, but that will allow us to put in the Crossrail services. And also this playthrough I want to do some freight as well. So down here is your Southampton food processing plant, or you will be something else, because I just want some, I was doing a Southampton docks up to, I'm just trying to look at my map, Birch Coppice, which is kind of West Midlands up towards Birmingham, and I want to do this should be over here, Tilbury Docks up to Drift in Daventry as well. So we're going to do a little bit of, not really massive amounts of freight, but a few containerised freight, intermodal freight trains going up and down the West Coast Main Line look quite good. So yeah, there we are. I thought in this episode just explain a little bit about what I'm hoping to do, but also I think what I want to do is try and get some of these stations. Now I've drawn out a rough diagram of where the London termini will be, and I'm just going to really roughly put them in just as a guide, obviously because we're not to scale, so the stations are going to be really close together, so I'll maybe do a little bit of demolition. London has been rebuilt as well, because I just wanted to move the Thames up a little bit, because I want to get in Farringdon station for the Thames Link services. So yeah, London is looking brand new because it was built in 1995 basically, I think, but we are going to have to demolish. No, we want to pause the game because the AI is like trying to rebuild. So basically what we want is something that kind of equates roughly to Euston Road, which seems to be the main road on which most of the stations kind of sit along, don't they? So it is just having a look at Google Maps quickly just to kind of get my station orientations, and it is like an axis, just seems to be one road with all of the stations on it. Well, almost all of the stations, but not quite all of them. Right, so I think that's enough demolition. I think we want, obviously it's all going to be a little bit skew at this point. London obviously is going to hopefully regrow. Have I demolished everything? Hopefully not. It's got a little tiny bit of industry left. We'll have to keep that, otherwise the industry might not regrow at all. So I think we'll start with, yeah, we are on a little bit of a, because it's not north-south, it is going to be a little bit weird as well, trying to plan everything out. But I think what I'm going to do is we're going with King's, have I got King's Cross New? That should old. Don't want to use old. I mean, it doesn't matter because I'll be coming back in with the segments anyway. I think I'll just put in one of them with 8 platforms, no, a terminus with 8 do I want it to be 320? I think like normal, I'm going to have my kind of mainline stations as 240 metres long, which I think is more than long enough, and this can be Euston, I think, as a good reference. Where's Watford? It's over there, just looking. So we want it to be slightly to the right of Watford, because obviously the tracks going out of Euston, they bear left quite sharply, don't they? They go out and then left, and then Watford station is going to have to be to the left of Watford, I think. So yeah, there we are. We've got Euston station in. And what else do we need? Obviously we need, yeah, I'm just going to leave these as they are now, because I will come in. I just want kind of the footprint more than anything. So I want St Pancras, which I think should be, I know we're in 1995 and we haven't got HS1 yet, but like I said, I'm just going for the footprint at the minute, so I do want that to be, and obviously HS2 for Euston, but not going to worry too much about that just yet. That's going to be for in the future, but obviously I want to leave enough space for it, and these are going to be obviously close together because of the scale. So just trying to orientate St Pancras a little bit like that, and then I think King's Cross can be 240 on a little bit of a weird angle to it, something like that, I guess. And then we want Marylebone, which I think I'll just do 4 platforms. It's only a little station, isn't it? And we'll chuck that something like that. It's in a slightly angled orientation. And Paddington, I think we'll do 8, and then that wants to be a little bit more demolition called for. And then Paddington, which I always thought was kind of orientated in like a westward facing direction, but it's not. It's facing more like that, more like a northwesterly direction, and then the tracks kind of bear off to the west. So I'm thinking maybe if I attach that onto there. Obviously these, yeah, like I said before, they are really close together, but yeah, there's not much I can do about that. And then Farringdon, actually, can I do no buildings? I don't think I can I? But I think, yeah, we haven't got much space around here, and actually no, Farringdon is this side of the water, isn't it? So we might not be able to fit it in. No, I'm not going to be able, don't know, because I think the Thameslink services are underground at this point, aren't they? And then I was going to come across and like have Croydon station here, but I think we might be asking a little bit too much. We might have to terminate the Thameslink services at St Pancras I think there's St Pancras like low level, isn't there? But yeah, not to worry. I think Farringdon will have to kind of not be there. And then Liverpool Street over here again, I think it's orientated a bit like this, and it's quite far out of the city centre. And obviously we've got, I'm not sure what the services out of Liverpool Street are. I know we've got Crossrail Underground, and then we'll have, where we've got Reading, Slough into kind of underground London. We'll go underneath Paddington. I think we might have possibly a station in the centre, I'm not entirely sure, and then Liverpool Street, and then we'll go out towards Shenfield like that. So let's get naming these stations. So these are Euston. I don't think it's London Euston, is it? I think it's just Euston. And then St Pancras, King's Cross, Marylebone over here, Marylebone, and then we've got Paddington. I haven't got Liverpool Street named either, like so. So we will have some kind of overground services, but we'll also have the Crossrail, and I'm going to do the London Overground as well. Well, I'm going to try and attempt to do that, just looking at how things are orientated. So we're not going to be doing much kind of track work. We'll go with high speed, no catenary for now. So we're going to have, I mean, this is all going to be quite tricky to do, like with diamond crossings and things like that, isn't it? But we will just have to do our best. You can't really do diamond crossings on a curve, can you? But yeah, West Coast Main Line's going to come out like something like that. It's also 4. It's 2 in a tunnel, and then it comes out into 4. So it'd be something like that. And then we've got another London Overground track coming off here, like that. I'm thinking. Then we've got the St Pancras So I think we'll have, obviously this is going to have to try and put together what's going on here. These just go straight on like so, and then we'll have a bit of a route there. And then I think, I'm not sure if these tracks or with the international tracks are actually joined in any sort of way, but this is going to be kind of one of the more difficult things to achieve, because it basically goes across the 4 tracks, or I think it's 4 tracks of the King's Cross platforms, and then it goes into a tunnel. So that is going to be pretty interesting. So this is just a real basic rough plan out for the minute, because obviously I do have to go in and do things a little bit better. But we'll get all those tracks, and then this obviously has to go across somehow. I'm not sure entirely how I'm going to achieve that just yet. And we've also got to get the overground track. So I don't know, not sure what the actual name of the track is. I'm just calling it the overground tracks for now, but we'll put that in there like so. And then we've got another bit off here, and this is for, I'm guessing, for freight services to go over to the big freight terminal over here from HS1. So something like that, and then across. Obviously that's going up a little bit high again. This is all going to be redone. I'm just trying to kind of plan it out a little bit so we know where I'm up to, something like that. And then Liverpool Street's a little bit more complicated, because it's not an underground station, but the tracks go straight into a tunnel, don't they? So I'm not sure about that, but this again, that wants to be going like underground into a tunnel like that. And then obviously Paddington, keep that on the flat for now, something like that. And I'll worry about the Crossrail later on, and we can probably get a little bit of underground service as well, tube service possibly. But that's, I'm not sure what we're going to do. Maybe if I get that. The only problem is what I've just realised is the map is quite low. It's like a sea level map, isn't it? So when we do tunnels, it's going to be a little bit tricky, but not to worry. Let's get that in. Liverpool Street. So this wants to be, it's like trying to go into beach there. So if I do any smoothing now, that's just going to generate water, which could be an issue. But we will worry about that later, I guess. And then obviously we want some sort of approach there, and then obviously this bears, well no, this doesn't. This bears off to the east towards Shenfield. I don't know how long it stays underground for. Again, I've got to figure that out and look at that on the open rail map. I just want a real rough kind of guide so we know where we're up to. And then this, so we've got these tracks here, so we want another overbridge, maybe just a smidge more, something like that. Another overbridge. Again, I'm not worrying about what the bridges look like. We will be doing this again, get rid of some of this track and this. So if we do that, keep that on the flat, I think, actually, because we're going to have a junction in here and then merge that into there. Not really too much slope. Yeah, there is too much slope, isn't there? I can't actually see this being used, if I'm honest, but I do want to have it represented anyway. So I want that something a bit like that, with concrete bridge and then a junction, connect that up. And we'll just have actually, don't know. I'll just going to put it on embankment now, because like I said, I'm going to do this again, but just thinking it might be on like on a viaduct as it goes over London, isn't it? I think for the most part. So we'll put that in there, and then again this goes across. Oh, we'll just keep it on a bridge for now, I think, just to keep things simple. That goes across the King's Cross tracks, and then that goes off to somewhere, not entirely sure where. And then this interesting looking thing here, which I'm not sure. Yeah, so we've got to go up in the air a little bit, haven't we? Which is going to make things even more interesting, because I think, what can I do about HS1? 'Cause I suppose I could build a station over here somewhere, couldn't I? We'll have HS1 trains calling into St Pancras, and then I have no idea what I'm going to do here. See if that'll come down as, that's going to take a little bit of play. I don't want it to be as accurate as possible. Obviously it's not to scale, but I do want to try and get it as accurate as possible. Now, can I do a little tiny bit of smoothing without generating water? No is the answer to that. That's annoying. I think we'll just have to live with sharp edges on our tunnels, perhaps. We will just have to see. There's nothing, can't do anything now with regards to the water level, can I? Nope, never mind. We'll do something. Maybe, I don't know, maybe raise the terrain up a little bit to meet it, because one of the things I did want to do is, where there are tunnels, I want them to be tunnels, obviously. Where there are bridges, I want them to be bridges. So I want to try and get the road over bridges or under bridges accurate. I'm guessing there's a bit of tunnelling. I think on the West Coast Main Line, there's certainly one big kind of key tunnel which needs to be constructed. I've got the Chilterns here represented with some hills as well, so that will help with the tunnelling. But I want to try and get it as accurate as possible. But we've got the main stations in. do I want? I can't redo the map either because I've placed all my towns, and that's the map. The map itself is pretty basic, I will admit that, but I will be adding detail. But the actual placement of the towns is the most kind of difficult bit. Trying to get them correct distances and things like that is pretty tricky. But yeah, we'll figure out a way to kind of deal with this sand. Obviously, I can paint over this, can't I? So we won't have the sand. It's just the rough that sharp edges that I'm not 100% happy with. But I guess again we can come in with retaining walls and stuff to make that look a little bit better. Maybe raise the stations up a little bit. Don't know yet. But yeah, so there we are. We've got the main bits in. We'll share that map on social media and in the community tab. I think I've already shared it. I'm not sure if I've shared the updated version. And if you've got any kind of tips or advice or anything, or any useful information that I might need, especially for the 1995 period. Obviously we've got Virgin. I'm not sure what sort of, like the London Midland type services, I'm not sure what they would have been in 1996. And yeah, so I am going to probably need a little bit of help on this one, but it's just a little bit of a short episode just to kind of show you the map and get the London termini in place, just so we've got a rough guide from somewhere to start. So hopefully weekly episodes of this, like the UK Northern Power series, and I'm going to continue with the Vale, and at some stage I might look at rebuilding the work which I lost when my computer decided to die. So the UK Northern Powerhouse is kind of put to one side. I mean, I haven't abandoned it altogether, but I think I want to start with a new project and just see how I get on with things as we progress. So I'm going to leave it there for today. Say until next time, bye bye.